But Jesus comes in intentionally, pre-thought out, and then he's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And he does this huge disruption. And he starts yelling, and he knocks tables over, and he drives out the money changers and the animals, and it was a big ruckus. It was a big, big ruckus. He was interrupting business as usual, the economic business of the temple, for a reason. And the question I want to ask us today is, who was he defending? Who was he offending? Who does Jesus get angry with? And who does Jesus get angry on behalf? There are all sorts of things that you may or may not know about, such as federal agents tear gassing school pickups, tear gassing a minivan of 6 children, including a baby. A 17-year-old at Target working citizen was dragged out by ICE, beaten, and then when they found out it was a U.S. citizen, he was deposited in a random Walmart and found by a citizen visibly upset. If that happened to my kid, I would want to burn stuff down, I'm telling you. It would be so frustrating. In St. Cloud, ICE threatened to put a mobile home on fire with mother and children inside because they wouldn't open the door, which is their constitutional right. Citizens are being pulled from their cars for legally observing and being thrown sometimes 8 to 12 hours in detention for the purpose of scaring them so they won't do it anymore. And then last night I heard in West Bloomington, ICE was going door to door and knocking on doors saying, "Where are the Hispanics?" Power does this thing where it creates hierarchies. Hierarchies created by the power that says, these are the people on top and this is where you fall in line. And here's the fascinating thing. If you, wherever you are on the totem pole, if the person above you does something to you, it must be your fault. How short was her skirt? Was she drinking that night? Why did he argue with the cop? See, anything that happens to you, you must have instigated it if it's a powerful person on top doing it to the person below. And we're seeing that now. So keep your eyes open for these narratives that power is using to discredit any of the good work that's doing, that is just neighbors concerned about their neighbors. When Jesus then comes into the middle of the temple and looks around and says, I'm going to cause a disruption, he knows that he's going to get a target on his back. Tomorrow's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we remember a man who is committed to nonviolent civil disobedience, and yet he was painted as a violent agitator and a domestic terrorist who was watched by the FBI until his assassination. He worked methodically, prayerfully with a network of hundreds of other people who meticulously planned every action they did. The Montgomery bus boycott, Selma, many of these events. And you can bet there were moments every day when people were like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to get home from work. What are these people doing? Find a different way, a way that doesn't make anyone uncomfortable ever. But change happens when people are uncomfortable. Change happens when business as usual is interrupted, and we have to think and go, well, what are they so upset about? What's happening? And it makes us think and it makes us uncomfortable, and in that discomfort, we might start to see things just a little bit different. So the first thing you can do is keep your eyes and ears open to the narrative and the stories that are being told. Believe the stories on the ground, and please question the narratives that are coming from news stations that don't have a reputation for fair and balanced reporting. Second, this is really cool and exciting and easy and important. This Friday, we're having a day of truth and freedom. We are asking and trying to get as much of Minnesota to shut down on Friday as possible. No school, no work, nothing. Third, you could call your representatives and just tell them, we need something to happen. We need ICE out of Minnesota. Fourth, if you want, there is a peaceful march at 2 p.m. on Friday for those who can do so. And it's led by wonderful people who are committed to good, peaceful, nonviolent action. Fifth, you can continue to give to Our Neighbors Fund. Through cash, check, Venmo, I'm keeping track of every line item, and it's all going to help our neighbors either here in Bloomington. Jesus was a holy disruptor who intentionally created a scene to send a message on behalf of people that God deeply loves. He knew the risk and he did it mindfully. And it's time for us to be holy disruptors, whatever that means. Friends, this isn't about politics. It's not about red and blue. It's not about Republican and Democrat. It's long past that. This is about human beings wanting a world of compassion against powers of evil. It's a moral issue. Please understand that. Let us stand together hand in hand for all the good that God wishes for all. This is about loving one another.